Hey guys, it's Tarkan. I'm back. Um, I know it's been something over a week now, I think, since my last video, so I apologize for that. It's been a little bit busy. Some things have come up that needed my attention, or at least I thought they needed my attention. It's nothing upsetting, really that upsetting, more inconveniences, right? But in dealing with all that this week, I was thinking a lot about the concept of detachment. It kept coming up in my mind, and I thought it would be good if I did a little video on it, right? Because I'm sure, no doubt, you've heard so much about this detachment thing, right? It's the same as letting go, and I've done a video on that too. It was very similar to letting go. Actually, I would say they're probably about the same thing. But detachment, there's something else to be said about the concept of detachment, the idea and the feeling of detachment, right? Because why is it so important? I would say fundamentally, the basic fundamental number one reason why it's so important to detach is because if you're not detaching from your desire or your desired outcome, then you're attached to it, which means that you're thinking in the opposite direction, right? You're thinking that you don't have it yet. Now that's pretty basic. And I'm pretty sure all of you get that concept, that idea. But really, we think about it, we get it intellectually, but we don't get it emotionally, we don't get it vibrationally. Most of us don't. And even, for someone like me or other teachers or whatever, we're all human beings and we still sort of get lost in the kind of maze of life sometimes. Things come up and you kind of want your ego mind to figure it all out, right? And letting go and detaching seems like the last thing to do when sometimes you have to you kind of get propelled into panic and reaction mode, right? But it is important. It is an important thing to learn to master, and I'm still mastering it. But there are a few things that I do that help me, all right? Because think about this. I mean, attaching to something, attaching to your desired outcome is really giving away your power. And everything we're doing here is about finding your power, embracing your power, developing your power, recognizing your power, because you have it. You have it innately. You're born with it. And then as soon as you sort of start becoming, a little bit older, society kind of boxes that awareness out of you. And the way you're sort of taught, the idea is I have to push against everything in my environment and all my circumstances to change them and to bend them to my will, right? Or to my advantage, which is why I think we have so many problems in this world. Most of our problems, I think, as a species come from us constantly trying to outrace each other, outdo each other, push, push, push. It's almost like we're all in panic mode constantly, 24/7, right? How can you create and be a deliberate creator when you're constantly in panic mode, when you're constantly attached because you're constantly thinking about the thing you want and how that's going to make your life better and easier, right? But I want to say something about that. And I've said this before. When you have a desire for something, generally speaking, I think across the board, the majority of us, when we think of our desires, are thinking about the desire in terms of the thing, the symbol, right? We're thinking of the money we want. We're thinking of the relationship or the person that we want. We're thinking of the car we want, the house we want, the vacation we want, the place we want to go take that vacation. All of these things are symbols for the essence of what you really want. So most of us out there are out there focusing and trying to create, through this law of attraction business, we're trying to create the symbol and we're not trying to create the essence. We're focusing on the symbol of the thing but not its essence, right? So what do I mean by that? Money is a symbol for something else that you're after. So the essence of money, whatever that represents to you, freedom, freedom of movement, freedom of choice, security, right? Popularity, acknowledgement, whatever that is. That's the essence of the money thing. But the money is just a symbol for that. It's just one way that those things can come to you, right? But you've convinced yourself that it's the only way that they can come to you, so you've become attached to the symbol. It has to be the money. It has to be the relationship. It has to be that person. It has to be my ex that has to love me. And it has to be that they contact me first, and instead of me having to do it. And these are, understand that these are all the symbols that you're after. These are the sort of the signs, the outward signs, because we're still so attached to this mirror image, thinking that this is the real thing out here. The money is the real thing, instead of thinking it's just a representation of an energetic essence that we're after, and that we can achieve that essence through all sorts of means. In fact, infinite means. And our higher self knows that, right? But our ego mind doesn't know that. It can only see one or two or three ways that we can achieve that essence or that feeling that we're after, right? So that's an important concept to embrace. Understand what the essence is, and always think of when you have a desire about something, what am I really after? What's the essence of what I'm after, right? And then understand that the thing you thought was going to bring you that is only one symbol of that you can conjure up in your mind, right? Now, that doesn't mean that once you start practicing that idea and start developing that idea in your mind, that the symbol you want doesn't come to you, all right? I think a lot of people are afraid of that. They think, well, if I focus on the essence, and if I've wanted money, I focus on the essence of the money, then I won't get the money, I'll get the essence through some other way. I mean, it's possible, be open to that, but also understand that that doesn't have to be that way. The idea is you can still want the money, but if you focus on the essence of why you want the money becomes easier. But it won't just be the money that comes. It'll be all the things that represent that essence, that feeling, that state of being to you. It won't just be the money. It won't just be the relationship. It'll be all the other things. It'll be great friendships. It'll be smiles on the streets from strangers. It'll be people giving you things, all right? If you think of abundance as the essence that you're after, if money represents that to you, then sure, money is just, but to the universe, money is just one representation of that. Even though to your ego monkey brain, maybe it's the only representation of abundance. But abundance can come through money and all of these other things. Gifts, right? Finding things on the street, whatever it is, okay? So understand that. That's a very important thing to wrap your mind around. One of the ways to cultivate detachment is to think and focus on the essence of the thing you want, not the symbol of it. Let go of the symbol as much as you can and focus on the essence, and then understand, oh, that's good. That the symbol is just one way that's going to come to me, but there's all these other ways that it's coming to me too, right? So that's very important. Another thing that I like to do that helps facilitate my detachment. Now, this is sort of a visualizing thing, and this comes, or it's sort of also falls into the whole, live in the end result kind of thing, all right? And this is something I learned from, I can't remember who, but I picked this up along the way, and it's actually done wonders for me. Let's say I'm after a relationship, right, with a specific person. Or let's say, no, actually, you know what? What's better is, let's say I'm after 3-4 things. Let's say I want the money, I want the relationship, and I want all these other things, right? I've actually been asked this question before. Can we manifest more than one thing at a time? Absolutely. But one way to kind of sort all that out for yourself is to kind of go beyond that in terms of your visualization. So what you want to do, what you want to try out, is to visualize this, that you are a master manifester. If you make your visualizations and your desired outcome about that, then all the other things kind of are just subcategories of that, right? The money, the relationship, all the other things you desire just kind of fall under that broad category of I'm very good at manifesting. And I'm just going to take a week or a month and just visualize only that. I'm only going to visualize and live from the end result that I am a master manifester. And when you do that, when you really embrace it, what starts to happen is that detachment kind of follows naturally. That sense of detachment, that sense of neutrality, because that's another way to say detachment, excuse me. That's another way to say detachment is neutrality. Really, detachment is a state of being neutral about everything in your life, right? Not being too attached to it, but also not being too detached from it, but being in that sort of middle neutral space. So this is a great way to do that, because when you focus only on that in terms of this is my goal, this is what I'm going to visualize about, this is what I'm going to focus on, right? This is what I'm going to affirm, this is what I'm going to try to feel and embrace in myself, is simply the idea that I'm very good at manifesting. I'm excellent at this stuff. I am a master. So then all the other things I want don't matter. I'm detached from them naturally because they'll come, because I'm a master manifester. That's the only thing I'm focusing on, right? So everything else just falls under the umbrella of that, and it allows you to kind of become more general about the things in your life. And this is something that Abraham Hicks teaches, right? Going general. So the idea is, if you're feeling very attached to things, I'm confusing those two today. If you're feeling very attached to things and you're feeling very desperate about the things you want and your manifestations, the idea is to stop being so specific about the things and to pull back and try to have more general kind of ideas about it, right? So one way to go general would be, like I said before, is to think about the essence of what you want, right? Of the thing you want, what you're really after. So if it's money and you're concerned about money, stop focusing on money and go general by focusing on the essence. I want freedom. Money gives me freedom. So then focus on freedom, not money, right? I want security. Money gives me a sense of security. So then you focus on security rather than money. So that's one way to go general. And another way to go general is what I just described, which is to simply only visualize and affirm this. I am a master creator. I am so good at manifesting things that I don't have to worry about all the specific things. And that's how you go through the world. And you just see yourself as this sort of wizard, right? And when you do that, when you embrace that, you really feel it, then all the specific things that you've been attached to kind of fall away. You become much more neutral about them. So that's just another way of becoming and going general, right? And becoming neutral and detached from the specific things. So that's a very good method that I've used many times and with great success. So then you try that one out. In fact, I would try it for a week. Just try it in general. Even if you don't feel too much attachment right now to anything, try it anyway. Because you'll see that it's just sort of this is who I am, right? I don't want to manifest so that I can be a good manifester. I'm manifesting because I'm a good manifester. Does that make sense? All right. I was trying to do something. My brain. See, this is my monkey brain trying to explain everything too logically again. And then sometimes it gets lost in its own kind of whirlwind maze of words. But I hope that makes sense. So, and here's another thing I want to say, and this is something I learned from a gentleman who calls himself Mr. 2020, I think. He's very much into Neville Goddard. But this was, and this is also specifically for you people out there who want to manifest a relationship, who want your ex back. And I know that the majority of the people coming to my channel, that's what they're after. So I'm going to give you a little something that I learned from him that falls into detachment and falls into kind of what I was talking about, the other 2 points I was touching on, right? Getting to the essence of what you want. And also just seeing yourself as a generally a good manifester. And it's this, and it's a very simple visualization. And what you want to do is, let's say there's a person that you want in your life. Let's say it's your ex. You want to imagine just an average run-of-the-mill moment with them. But you don't want to visualize doing anything specific with them. You don't want to visualize, at this point being on a vacation with them or running along the beach or going to the movies or making love or any of that kind of stuff. You want to imagine them and visualize them in your general vicinity, right? So that means let's say you're at home. You visualize that you're at home with them. And they're in the next room doing something they love and that makes them happy. And this is this is interesting because now they're doing something separate from you but they're doing something that makes them happy. And they are close enough to you that you can go dance with them if you wanted. In other words, they're within dancing distance of you. So maybe they're in the next room or just in another part of the house that's not very far from where you're located, right? Now, this is what you're doing in your visualization. And you just want to imagine that and visualize that. And that's it. That's about as simple. Visualize them having a smile on their face. So, if your ex loved reading books, just visualize them lying somewhere in a comfortable spot in the house, their favorite spot, and just reading a good book. And they've got that general sense of peace about them, that look of contentment on their face, right? And you're able to see them and observe them at a dancing distance, right? At a distance where you could easily go up and say, dance with them, right? This goes again to the idea of detachment, and the reason it does, and the reason I think it's such a good visualization is because it's taking you out of the need to be in a constant interaction with this person, but also lets you be aware that they are there in your life, in your vicinity, so they're not missing. Even if they're not interacting with you in that specific moment, they are within your vicinity and they are happy, right? Because think about it, when you're in a relationship, and you know this, you don't want to be attached at the hip 24/7. You don't want to do every little thing together. You're going to have those mundane moments when you're both doing something different, something separate from each other. You're engaged in separate activities, but you're happy and you're in the relationship, so you're aware of having the relationship. In other words, nothing is missing. They are content. You are content that they are content. And there's no sense of attachment. There's no sense of this, I need to be making passionate love with them all the time. I need them to tell me they love me all the time. No. You're content. You're detached because you understand the situation as it is. We are in a relationship together. We are both happy and content. And we are close enough to dance with each other if we wanted to, or make love if we wanted to, right? But think about that sort of, sometimes the mundane things that you visualize can be the most powerful visualizations because they do foster a sense of detachment and a sense of neutrality about a situation. You can even be watching a movie together, right? What do you do when you watch a movie together? You're not constantly interacting with each other. I mean, you might be cuddling, you might be doing things like that, or you might just be both sitting there eating popcorn and watching the movie, but you're doing it together, right? So try that one out, and I hope I explained it well enough. I've tried it out, and it's great, and it's fantastic, and it makes you feel very calm afterwards. At least that's what it did for me. So I hope that that's what it can do for you, all right? I have some notes here because I'm rambling. Because I realize this is such a big topic. One little video isn't going to do it here. There are so many layers to this, and there's so many layers to everything that we've been talking about, that I've been talking about on this channel. So oftentimes in other videos, I'm going to revisit things. I might even revise things, because it is kind of difficult sometimes to explain this stuff to people. You can listen to my words, but a lot of this, you're going to have to really try it out for yourself, right? I can tell you what detachment feels like and what neutrality feel like, but unless you know the feeling and you felt it, it won't be that personal to you, right? So, anyway, yeah, I think I touched on everything here. Actually, I'm trying to read notes as I'm doing a video. So it's been that kind of week, folks. I'm working on, buffing up my detachment muscle as well. I've had great success with it, but sometimes life does kind of, shit happens, right? And you have to sort of go, and you it's almost like all those lessons go out the window, right, in that panic mode, right? But it's okay to pull back and take a breath and think about, oh, wait a minute, right, detachment, right, neutrality. Take a deep breath, step back from the situation, look at it all from the perspective of an observer, not a participant, especially when you're feeling very kind of panicky and attached about something. That's a very important thing to try to do as well, is to kind of step away from yourself a little bit. Meditation helps with that a lot, okay? If you can look at your life and your situation, your circumstances right now from the perspective of a neutral observer, then that's half the battle right there, right? sometimes it's okay not to be too much of a participant in your life, in your circumstances, if your circumstances aren't pleasing to you. Okay? It's okay. And I realize that goes against everything you've probably been taught. But that's fine, because think of the people that taught you that. Think of the society that taught you that, the culture that taught you that. How's it doing? Not so great, right? So don't be afraid to try something different and new for yourself, okay? Anyway, that's it so far. I hope I touched on everything, and I hope that all that makes sense. Try the stuff out. Let me know in the comments how it worked out for you. Also, any questions. And I will be doing another video on your comments very soon. I've also been working on a website for you guys, so that's been another thing that's kind of kept me busy this week. But I'm trying to balance everything right now. You know, I've also got 100 things in my mind that I want to do. But I'm practicing detachment. So take a deep breath with me, right? Just take a deep breath, take a bath, take a walk, have a beer. That's what I'm going to go do. Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for all the great comments. I'm going to say this every time because they keep coming. They're amazing. You guys are fantastic. And thank you for the subscriptions and all the new subscribers. I'm watching the channel grow and grow steadily every day, and it's very exciting. And, you know, I want to really involve you guys. So that's why I like reading the comments back on videos and all that stuff, because I think it gives you guys a little bit of agency and a little bit of sense of participation in this channel too. It's not just about me and my ideas and me just tossing things at you and saying go do them, right? It's good to be engaged, it's good to be interactive, it's good to kind of hear your stories and your concerns and to kind of dive into some of the things that you have questions about. So this has been great. So I really appreciate it. Website and coaching services are coming. I'll let you guys all know when that's available. For those of you that want a little bit more one-on-one coaching, right? I'll try to keep everything affordable. I'm getting the book list back up once the website is finished. Everything is kind of it's all a construction site right now. So, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a great week, or weekend rather. It's Saturday. And yeah, stay detached. Go have fun. All right, take care.